Stop. Right now. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Don't move. Because what is happening in this exact second is not random. Something just interrupted your normal flow. Not your screen, not your routine, but your spirit. You felt it before your mind could react, a quiet pressure in your chest, a sudden stillness, a strange awareness that whispered, "Pay attention." You're not imagining that. You didn't end up here by coincidence. You didn't stumble into this message accidentally. This moment was scheduled long before you ever realized you would need it. This is not just another video. This is not background noise. This is not motivation. This is an interruption. And interruptions only happen when something important is about to shift. This message is not for everyone. It's not for the comfortable. It's not for the distracted. It's not for the ones who have never been tested. This is for the chosen one, the one who has been carrying weight in silence, the one who survived seasons that should have destroyed them, the one who kept going when quitting would have been easier. It's for you. You've felt different your whole life, not better, just different, like you never fully fit where others seemed comfortable, like you could sense things others ignored, like your heart reacted deeply while the world stayed shallow. You questioned yourself because of it. You tried to silence it. You tried to blend in. But no matter how hard you tried, something inside you refused to disappear. That wasn't weakness. That was calling. Your life hasn't been easy, and that was never a mistake. You've walked through pain that didn't announce itself, battles no one applauded, nights where you stared at the ceiling asking questions you were afraid to say out loud. You've buried dreams, you've buried relationships, you've buried versions of yourself just to survive. You've cried quietly so no one would see you breaking. You've smiled when your heart was exhausted. You've stood in rooms full of people and still felt completely alone. And more than once you asked God, "Why me? Why so much? Why didn't you stop it?" Here's the truth most people never hear. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. When God wants someone comfortable, He chooses the crowd. When He wants someone popular, He chooses talent. But when He needs someone who can carry weight, someone who won't panic under pressure, someone who won't fold when things get dark, He chooses someone who has been broken, rebuilt, tested, and refined. He chooses the chosen one. Generals aren't trained on soft ground, diamonds aren't formed without pressure, and purpose is never revealed without pain. That heartbreak you never fully recovered from? Training. That betrayal that changed how you trust? Training. That loneliness that followed you even in full rooms? Training. That season where everything fell apart at once? Training. Nothing you went through was wasted. Every tear carried information, every delay added depth, every loss stripped something false away. You thought life was taking from you, but it was actually qualifying you. There were moments you almost didn't make it, moments when giving up felt logical, moments when staying alive felt heavier than leaving. But you're still here, not because you were lucky, not because you were strong, but because your assignment wasn't finished. If darkness had its way, you'd be gone already. Gone in that accident, gone in that illness, gone in that season where your mind was louder than your hope. But something preserved you, and now that same force is speaking again. The reason things felt paused lately, the reason your tolerance dropped, the reason your spirit felt restless, it wasn't anxiety, it was alignment. Your spirit was being adjusted before your life could change, because what's coming next isn't small, and you can't step into it as the old version of you. Your thinking had to mature, your heart had to strengthen, your discernment had to sharpen. That's why the delay existed, not to deny you, but to prepare you. You are stepping into a season where clarity replaces confusion, where peace replaces chaos, where strength replaces survival. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are right on time. And this is only the beginning. Listen carefully now. There was a reason your life never followed a normal path, a reason shortcuts never worked for you, a reason comfort never lasted long. You were never designed for average outcomes. That's why whenever things became too comfortable, something shifted. A disruption, a loss, a change you didn't ask for. And you thought, why can't anything just stay stable? Because stability without purpose becomes a prison for the chosen. You were separated long before you understood it, separated from people you loved, separated from places you thought were permanent, separated from versions of yourself you outgrew, even when it hurt to let them go. God was quietly removing what couldn't go where you were headed. Some people couldn't come with you, not because they were bad, but because they were blind to what you carry. Some doors had to close, not to punish you, but to redirect you. Some dreams had to die so better ones could be born. You mistook separation for rejection, but heaven calls it selection. There were seasons when you felt invisible, ignored, overlooked. You watched others advance while you stayed still. Others celebrated while you endured. Others were applauded while you were tested. And you asked again, God, did you forget me? No. He was protecting you from being promoted too early, because early exposure without preparation destroys potential. You were being hidden, not abandoned. Hidden while your roots grew deeper, hidden while your character strengthened, hidden while your spirit learned how to stand alone. Most people can't survive isolation. They need noise, they need validation, they need crowds to feel alive. But you learned how to breathe in silence. That's why your presence feels different now. You don't enter rooms desperate to be seen. You don't speak just to be heard. You don't chase attention. And people feel that. They may not understand it, but they sense it. There is weight on your words now, stillness in your energy, authority in your silence. You didn't get this from confidence. You earned it through survival. Every disappointment carved wisdom into you. Every unanswered prayer taught patience. Every closed door trained discernment. You no longer beg life to make sense. You observe, you listen, you wait. And waiting used to feel like weakness. Now it feels like power, because you understand timing. You understand that rushing ruins things, that forcing opens the wrong doors, that not every opportunity is meant for you. You stopped chasing, and life started aligning. That's not coincidence. That's maturity. Now listen, this part is important. What you're stepping into next will require authority, not excitement. It will require discernment, not impulse. It will require obedience, not emotion. That's why your old self couldn't go. The version of you that reacted instead of responded had to die. The version of you that needed approval had to shed. The version of you that doubted your worth had to be healed. You didn't lose yourself. You found yourself. And now, heaven is trusting you with more responsibility, more influence, more impact. Not because you asked for it, but because you can carry it without being destroyed by it. Your life is no longer about survival. It's about assignment, and assignments don't come with applause. They come with resistance. That's why the pressure increased before the breakthrough. That's why the confusion peaked before clarity arrived. That's why the weight felt heavier right before the release. Pressure reveals capacity, and you didn't collapse. You adapted, you learned, you endured. That's why the calling is no longer distant. It's close now. You feel it in how you think, in how you see people, in how you sense danger before it arrives, in how you recognize truth without being taught. This isn't imagination. This is discernment awakening. You are becoming aware of who you've always been, and what's coming next will require you to stand, not hide, to move, not wait, to trust, not fear, because the season of preparation is ending and the season of activation is approaching.